Good evening, students. This is Deekam Pathak from Freebirds Experiences. I welcome you all to day 3 of this wonderful series, namely Fun with NCERT. We'd like to start our session by expressing our gratitude to the Government of Meghalaya and of course Innovation Hub and Shillong Science Centre for making these sessions free for students. The aim of these activity-based workshops are to ignite the love for science and technology in students and to recommend the textbooks as published by the NCERT. And lastly, do keep the link handy for all these sessions and follow Innovation Hub's Facebook page to receive updates about this session and schedule. So let me not take much of the time, and Mr. Rupesh, can you please continue on with this session?
Yes, thank you, Deekam, for giving me the control.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, welcome student, welcome all on board. As we have already started this sessions, and I think like 2 of the sessions we already have, and I think students are having a great fun with this. Students can join live. They can access the Facebook link. They can go through those like recorded videos. They can do those activities. So not waiting for long, we can just start with our today's session. So today we will be going through another very interesting topic from class 7th book, NCERT book, that is heat. So let me introduce first of all. My name is Rupesh Mandal. I am working as an assistant professor in Assam Don Bosco University, Guwahati. So in today's session, we will be going through this chapter called heat. We will be going through few concepts about heat. So let's get started. So in the introduction, first of all, we will try to understand few concepts about like heat. In order to understand heat, there are some things that we need to go through and we need to understand. So what is heat? Okay, so all of us, we have already seen what is heat. We have already sensed what is heat. Like we will be getting some hot sensation. Okay, when we used to touch any hot object. Okay, when any hot object is nearby, we can sense like the hotness of that particular object. Okay, but there is some sort of science behind. Not some, but a lot of science behind that. So those aspects we are going to like go through by this today's topic, and we will be doing some of the activities as well. Okay. So what is heat? So when a hot object and a cold object come in contact with each other, a type of energy flow takes place. What takes place? A type of energy flow takes place. Okay, from the hot object to the cold object. That is the basic and the simplest definition we can have of heat. So what is the definition? Like whenever we have like two different objects, okay, so let's take this picture. Okay, we know that something is burning. We have kept some firewood and it is burning. So let's consider that one as an object, and let's take the like other object as our hand. So when we used to keep our hand closer to that particular burning firewood or something, okay, we are feeling some sort of heating sensation. So what is happening? What science is behind that? The science is the radiation or the heat that is from the hotter object, it is actually flowing towards our hand. And what is the state of our hand? It is colder than the burning object. So heat always flows from hotter object to the colder object. Okay, and the energy we are talking about is called heat energy. So I hope I had made this particular topic, like the topic about heat, is clear. Just the like basic definition. Let's move on some other important or interesting things. The next thing that we are going to learn about hot and cold. Okay, so we have a lot of things. Okay, so sometimes we used to have hot objects, like we prefer hot beverages like coffee, tea, hot water, soups. Okay, during winter or during rainy days. Okay, so those things we consider it as hot. Okay, so in order to like press our clothes, we use this kind of press iron boxes. Okay, so these things are considered to be as hot objects. Whereas when we consider the objects like ice cream, any cold drinks, okay, so all these things will be coming under the category of cold object. Okay, so in our day-to-day life, we come across many of these objects. Like some are hot objects, some are cold objects. Okay, so we can understand whether this object is hot or not by touching them. Okay, so even if we close our eye and even if we touch anything, like suppose there are two glass of water available. One in one glass we have kept some hot water. Okay, and in one glass suppose there is normal water or suppose cold water. Okay, so we can just by touching that we can easily identify whether that particular object is a hot object or a cold object. Okay, so the God has given that sense or that thing to our body that we can sense this kind of hotness or coldness. Okay, by touching them. But whatever things are available, whatever objects are available, we cannot touch them in order to test whether it is hot or cold. Okay, suppose there is a like you are boiling the water and it is boiling at 100 degrees centigrade or like it's boiling very hard. Okay, so we are not going to put our fingers or our hand inside that boiling container, isn't it? So if we want to measure the hotness or the degree of coldness or degree of hotness, we will be using thermometer. Okay, so I think all of us, we are well aware of this particular device, thermometer. Okay, so this device, we will be using it for measuring the temperature, whether for any hot object, whether for any cold object, it will easily measure the degree of temperature. Okay, and we can easily get those values. Like during fever and all, during this pandemic, like COVID, we used to have this kind of device like thermometer handy in our home. So if anyone is having some sort of symptoms, we can easily put the thermometer and we can check like that particular person is having any sort of fever or any temperature increase is there or not. Okay, so the thermometer is a kind of device which we will be using for measuring the degree of coldness or hotness. So I hope this one is clear. So in our first activity, we will be doing one small activity of sensing the temperature. Okay. So what we can do, we can take this kind of 3 medium-sized bowl. Okay. Then we will be pouring some warm water, we will be pouring some cold water in another one, we will be pouring some normal water, okay, in the last one, and we will be placing our hand to check the temperature, okay. So I am just shifting to my activity area so that we can easily perform the activity. Just give me a minute so that I can make arrangement of all the things. Yeah. Can you people see me?
Yeah, we can, Mr. Rupesh. Yeah. Please,
okay.
please move forward.
Okay. So in our first activity, what we will do, we have taken these 3 containers. If we have like similar kind of container, it will be good for the demonstration. Okay. And at least you try to take the container in such a way that we can keep our hand inside. Okay, it should not be that too small. Okay, just try to take the container with a medium size container or a big container like that. Okay, so what I did, I have taken some hot water inside this one. Okay, so I kept hot water inside this bowl. I'm keeping some cold water. I just got this water directly from the freezer. Okay, and I'm keeping some normal water inside this. Okay. Okay. So this water is very hot. I'm just keeping what I'm doing. I'm just mixing it with the normal water so that it becomes just warm. Otherwise, my hand will burn. Okay. So, okay. So warm water is there on my left hand side. Cold water is there on my right hand side, and the neutral or the normal water is in the middle. Okay. So what I will do, I will place my left hand inside the warm water. Okay, you people can also try this one. Just try to put your left hand on the warm water. On the same time, try to put your right hand on the freezer water, the cold water. Okay, fine. Now, what we will do, we will take up our hand from the warm water. Suppose from the warm, I'm going to take out my hand from the warm water and just putting it into the normal water. Okay, and I will try to see the sensation. Okay. Oh, it feels really cold. Okay. When I am keeping my hand inside the warm water, okay, after some point of time, it becomes normal. Okay, initially I got the feeling like it is hot, but later on, after some like few seconds, it becomes little bit normalized. But still, I can feel the warmness. But once you put your hand inside the normal water, you feel much more cooler. Okay, like the sensation you will be getting, like you are touching the cold water, like from the freezer water. Okay. Now same thing if you perform on the other side, like I am just dipping my right hand on the freezer water, okay, the cold water, and I am now putting it on the normal water. Oh, what I can feel? I can feel like this water is a kind of warm water. Okay, so like if you are putting your right hand on the cooler, like cold water, and once you are putting your hand on the normal water, okay, you will be feeling hot, the warm feeling. Okay, so by touching these kind of things, we can easily identify that whether we are touching proper, like whether we are touching a hot object or a cold object. Okay, so this is about the first activity that we have. Now I will shift to my place so that I can continue with my presentation. And again, we will be doing one more activity. So this is about the first activity. Okay. Okay, so that what we did just in this activity, we have actually tried to understand the temperature difference. Okay, how we can feel those temperatures. Okay, so temperature of an object is the degree of hotness or coldness. Okay, if the temperature is very high, we can have like in the thermometer, the level will go up. Okay, and if the temperature is low, what will happen? The level will come down. Okay, and do you people know what is the element that is actually present inside the thermometer? It is mercury. Okay, so like whenever mercury is getting like coming in contact with hot object, it usually expands. And it is the property of every object or every metal or any substance that we have. Okay, so whenever any object comes in contact with the heat, it tries to expand. So mercury is one of those elements which expands very quickly, and we can see those changes very quickly. So that's why that element is actually kept inside the thermometer. Okay, and when the temperature is low, the molecules or the mercury is actually getting condensed. Okay, so that's why it is coming down into the lower portion of the thermometer. Okay, so the basic definition of temperature is that it is basically the degree of hotness or coldness of an object. So we all know that we have a lot of temperature that may be available. Okay, starting from the temperature, the first one on the left top side, that kind of temperature you can easily purchase from like any school or stationery shops. Those are easily available. You can keep it in your table, study table and all, and you can observe what is the temperature. Okay. In fact, in some cases, this kind of temperature units or devices are usually coming with the clock or like table lamps or something like that. Okay. So these things are basically for the students to keep understanding of the temperature. Okay. Some other thermometers are also there. On the left hand side, we have the clinical thermometer. Okay, so this thermometer is also having the mercury. Okay, and the clinical thermometers are a little bit costly as compared to the other one that we have discussed. And on the right bottom side, we have a picture which is basically a digital thermometer. Okay, so this thermometer is basically having some sensors that is actually connected to the tape. Okay, and once you keeping that thermometer in contact with any object, it will give you the reading of the degree of hotness or coldness. Okay, so these devices are also like easily available in the market, like any pharmacy you can get. Okay, any medical shop or any like hospitals you will be getting it easily. Okay. And one more device, if you can see a device with a screen on the right top hand side, this is called infrared non-contact thermogun or thermometer. Okay, so this is another way of detecting or another way of knowing the temperature of an object. So what we are supposed to do with that one, like thermogun. Okay, like basically we need to point that device toward the object for which we want to capture the temperature, and we want to push or pull the trigger. Okay, so once we are just pulling the trigger, okay, so what is happening? Some rays will be going from the front portion of the device, and some rays will be coming back to that particular device, and temperature will be recorded. So it is basically working under the principle of infrared. Okay, so it can easily measure the temperature as well. Okay, you people might have seen this kind of devices are now is being used like in daily basis because of this COVID pandemic. Like whenever if you are moving from one place to another place, like in airports, railway station, people are standing with this thermogun and they are checking the temperature. Okay, so this kind of device is basically come into existence so that we need not touch the person or touch the object, and from the far distance also we can calculate the temperature. Okay, so this is a small device. Similarly, we can have, or like we already have some sort of sensors that might be like installed in the satellite, and from the satellite we can also capture the temperature of any object. Okay, so same technology will be using some infrared rays will be sent from the device. It is that infrared ray will be getting reflected from the object. Okay, and while coming back, what is the value they are getting? Based on that, they are doing the calculation and they will know the temperature. Okay, so those things are also available nowadays. So thermometer is basically it's a device that can be used to find out how hot an object is. Okay, so this is about thermometer. Next, we are going to learn about, or we are going to understand about the transfer of heat. Okay, so this is a very important concept that we should understand, because all the principle, okay, most of the principle in the nature is basically working under or coming under these three different techniques. So we have in the transfer of heat, we basically have three categories. The first one is conduction, second one is convection, and the third one is radiation. Okay, so just remember these three words: conduction, convection, and radiation. So based on these three principles only, actually the heat transfer will take place. Okay, and in nature everything works on the phenomena of these three conditions. Okay, so let's get started and learn about these three phenomena. Okay. So before that, just try to understand what is like transfer of heat. Like heat energy always flow from a region of higher temperature to a region of lower temperature. Okay, so as we have done that particular activity, okay, so we were touching those, we were actually putting our hand inside those bowls. Okay, so when we are actually touching or putting our hand inside the hot water, so from the hot water, the heat is actually flowing from the hot water toward my hand. Okay, so it will flow until both attain the same temperature. Okay, so you can perform this activity also. Like you try to keep some warm water inside the inside one ball. Okay, and you try to you take two balls. Okay, you take two balls inside one, like in both the balls you keep warm water. Inside one you put your hand, and you don't put your hand in the one. You just let the second one as it is. Okay, and you just calculate the time, like till what time the first ball where in which you have like put your like kept your hand, it attains the normal temperature. Okay, so definitely the bowl in which you have like kept your hand will attain the normal temperature very quickly as compared to the other one, because we had an object which is actually having the temperature lower than the warm water. Okay, so because of this particular phenomena, heat is actually taking place. Okay, like heat energy always flow from a region of temperature, the region of higher temperature to a region of lower temperature. Okay, so based on this particular phenomena, the three concepts we'll be learning. Okay, the conduction, convection, and the radiation. Okay, so the first one is conduction. Okay, so conduction is basically the transfer of heat from a hotter part to a colder part of an object. Okay, so it is basically the transfer of heat from a hotter part to a colder part of an object due to collision of its particle. Okay, so there will be some particle inside any object, whether it is a gas, whether it is a liquid, whether it is a solid. Okay, when we talk about solid, it is having those particles tightly and in compact manner. Okay, so this kind of like conduction activity is only possible when we have a solid. Okay, so you need to remember conduction is only possible in case of solid. Okay, we need to have some conducting material. For example, iron. Okay, like you can take any solid substance. Okay, so what is happening? The molecules or the particles inside your solid, it will be having some sort of movement. Okay, and what causes those movement? Because of the heat. Okay, so you can see the first iron rod which is at the top. Okay, so heat is actually applied at one end, only the left hand side, and in the initial time you can see only few molecules are actually got heated up. Okay, after some time those molecules which already got hot, it is starting the transfer of heat from one molecule to the other molecule in the colder region. So the heat is actually flowing. Similarly, you can see on the third on the bottom column, bottom row, okay, the particles are actually on the which are on the left hand side, which is already got heated up, okay, and it is actually the particles are actually now trying to transfer their heat to the adjacent particle, which is still now in colder or in normal state. Okay, so this is how conduction is actually taking place. Okay, once again I am just saying that in case of conduction you need to remember that conduction is only possible in case of solid. Okay, so conduction is very good in case of metal. Okay, conduction is not good in case of those solid substances like wood we can have, okay, or any sort of insulator. Okay, so from this the phenomena or the principle came that we can use any sort of metal container in order to cook our food. Okay, otherwise we have stones, we have wooden wood, from where also we can make some utensil or we can make some container, but we are using this steel container or metal container in order to heat anything. Okay, why? Because the conduction is very good in case of metal. Okay, the particles inside the metal they become quickly heated up and they used to transfer their heat to the adjacent particle very quickly. Okay, so that's why they are like metals, we call them as good conductor. So I hope this conduction, the principle is clear. The next one is convection. Okay, so convection, you need to remember convection occurs in liquids and gases. Okay, so when we have particles which are loose enough, in those cases only we can have convection possible. Okay, so once again I am just reminding you, convection occurs in liquids and gases only. Okay, now let's try to understand what exactly is happening in convection. Okay, so in convection or inside the liquid we have some molecules, or gases also is having molecules. Okay, so the molecules of liquid or gases that are near, okay, which are very closer to the source of heat, okay, they get heated first and they become lighter and try to move upward. Okay, you can look at the diagram. Okay, we have a heating source, suppose a gas burner. We have a container full of water. When the gas burner was off, every molecule is in their normal state. Okay, now when we start heating the water, what happens? The molecules of the water which are just very near to the burner, okay, like at the bottom portion, okay, they first get heated up, okay, and they become lighter. Once they become lighter, definitely they will move up. Okay, so the lighter particles or molecules, they used to move upward. Okay, and those particles which are actually there on the top portion, which are actually cooler, the cool molecules, okay, they start moving downward and take the empty place. Okay, and this process continues, okay, unless and until the entire water molecules are in same state. Okay, so unless and until the entire molecules comes in the same state, this circulation will take place at some point of time. Okay, if you close the burner, then it is fine. If you keep the burner still on, then what will happen? Definitely, the water.
Are you sharing another screen as well? I think you have accidentally shared another screen, I think. Oh, sorry. It is Mr. Ratan Mandal. So your screen share is on. Could you please turn off the screen share? Yeah, Mr. Rupesh, yeah, please continue. Thank you so much. And sorry for the interruption.
Okay. Okay, not a problem. Okay. So I was discussing about the convection. So what happens if you still keep the water, if you still keep the burner on and you start, like what will happen, the water will convert it into the water vapor. Okay, so water molecules become so light that it will start moving. Okay, so in that way, what we can have, like the water becomes lighter and it's converted into a gas. Okay, so this is another concept that water will become water vapor or water will become a gas. Okay, so this is coming under the concept of convection. Okay, so till now what we have studied? We have studied about conduction. So in conduction, what will happen? So we require, for the conduction, we need to have a solid part, solid material, solid object like iron or any kind of other thing. Okay, and in case of convection, convection is only possible in cases of liquids and gases. Okay, the same principle will be applied to the gases, or like in the last session, we have came across that movement of air because of this kind of principle only, convection. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to a new. I'm just shifting to my activity center. Okay, so we will be performing another activity. Just give me 1 minute so that I can arrange all the things.
Mr. Rupesh, sorry for interrupting. I think we cannot hear you. Your microphone is off, I think.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Sorry
Yeah, now
for
we can
that.
hear you. Yeah, now we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. So for the second activity, we require this kind of transparent glasses. Okay, two glasses we require. We need to have some sort of coloring agent. We can easily use this kind of coloring agent like Ujala or those kind of indigo material. Okay, which can easily mix with the normal water, and preferably a CD drive. CD. Okay, so we will be using this in our activity. So what I will do, I will take some normal water. I had taken a glass of normal water in this. Okay, so this glass is having normal water. Now I will be filling some hot water into the another glass. Okay. So this is hot water. Okay. Now the first thing that we will do, we will put some this coloring agent in the cold water. Okay. Mix it's better if we can mix that. Okay. So we have this hot water and we have this cold water. Okay. Now what I will do, I will take this hot water and keep it over the cold water. Okay. We will take this hot water and we'll try to keep it over the cold water and we'll try to see the changes. So because of some air gaps, it is actually some liquids are actually moving. Okay. Yeah. The colors are different. So you can see the hot water is actually moving upward. Okay. So that's why cold water is coming down. Okay. So because of this reason, like we have kept the hot water like below and we kept the cold water above. Okay. So as we have understood from the principle of convection that the hot water will move up. So as the hot water is actually moving up, the cold water with blue color is actually coming down. And in the midway, it is actually the colors are actually mixing. Okay. So this, because of the principle of convection, only this phenomena is actually taking place. Okay. So the color will mix till the point unless and until the hot water will move upward. Okay. So this is one activity. Let me do another setup of the same kind of experiment. Just for the time, I'm just keeping my camera off. Okay, once again we came with the same setup and we will do the experiment in opposite way. Okay, so what I will do, I will take some normal water in this glass. Better to fill this bottle so that there should not be any gaps. Okay, fine. So this is my normal water. I will take some hot water in this. Now you see. Okay. So if the earlier phenomena was on the basis of that color will move from one container to another container, okay, that concept is totally wrong. Okay. So what is happening over here right now? We have the hot water on the top. Okay, and the hot water contains color. And from the principle of convection, we came to know that the hotter or the warmer molecules will be at the top. So here the hot water will remain at the top and the particles are not going downward. So that's why color is not coming onto the bottom glass. Okay. So once both the glass attains their normal temperature, then only the color flow will take place on the other one. Okay, so this phenomena proves that whatever we have read in the principle of convection, it is totally correct and we have done with the very good activity. You can also perform this activity and I think this activity is also mentioned in your NCERT book. Okay, for this also I am requesting all the students to perform all this activity in the supervision of your guardians, your parents, your elder brother, or your in front of the teacher, so that you should not get hurt or hurt other. Okay, so try to be safe while performing this kind of activities. So sharing the bumper. Just I will be shifting to my last. Okay, so this was the activity that you require 2 glass on CD drive, 1 coloring agent. Okay. So the next concept is radiation. Okay. So till now what we have studied that conduction will occur when we have solid objects. Okay. So when heat comes in contact with the solid object, okay, so heat will flow in the solid objects. That is called your conduction. Okay. So based on the conduction, we can cook food, we can make boil water, those kind of activities. Then we come across the concept of convection. Okay, so in the convection we have studied that the warmer molecules of the water or gases, they will move upward, and based on that only several phenomena in the nature is actually taking place. Okay, the last of this particular category we have the radiation. Okay, So in the radiation process, the process of transfer of heat in the form of waves. Okay, so actually the heat is actually not like we need not to keep the object on directly on the burning thing or the hot object. Okay, some sort of waves will be coming from the hotter object and it will travel towards the colder object. Okay, for example, when we try to keep our hand near the hotter object, we are actually feeling some sort of heating sensation. That is basically a concept of your radiation. Okay, when we keep anything like on just in the sunlight, it usually gets heated up. It will take time, but it also gets heated up. So that is also a concept of radiation. Okay, the important concept that we need to understand in the radiation is that it doesn't require any medium. Okay, so what is the important concept in case of radiation? What makes radiation other from conduction and convection? That radiation doesn't require any medium, as it can occur in the vacuum too. Okay, for example, sun is very far away from us. Okay, the center of the solar system is sun, which is basically a heating object. Okay, and all the planets are revolving around the sun. So in the space, what we have, we don't have any gases like oxygen, nitrogen, we don't have anything. In the space, we have only vacuum. Okay, so from that sun, the rays are actually traveling. Okay, it passes the Earth's atmosphere and finally it reaches to the ground, to us. And one we receive during daytime, one we like come across sunlight, we used to have the feeling of hotness. Okay, so this radiation defines that it doesn't require any medium to travel. Okay, it can travel in vacuum too. Okay, once it touches any object, whether it is a solid object, whether it is a liquid or gas, it tends to heat. Okay, the third point is that every hot object radiates some heat into the environment. Okay, so sun is a natural source of heat. Okay, so it is every time it is radiating the heat. Okay, suppose you are burning anything. Okay, so the burning substance, it is also radiating some sort of heat into the environment or any hot object. If you keep a cup of coffee on the top of the table, till the time the cup is hot, till that time, okay, the heat energy will be radiated into the environment. And because of that heat exchange, heat energy from the cup of coffee, okay, it actually radiated out. Okay, it basically used to get cold after some time because it already radiated certain amount of heat energy. Okay, so this concept is called radiation. So when we talk about the heat energy, temperature, okay, so the heat transfer will take place because of these three phenomena, which is called conduction, convection, and radiation. Conduction occurs in solid, convection occurs in liquid and gases, and radiation, it doesn't require any medium, it can go in any sort of thing. Okay, once it touches the object, it tends to heat the object. So this is all about today's session, and I have kept this picture as well, which I have explained in my previous lecture, that because of the radiation, the heating of the sun, we are getting the movement of the wind. Okay, so here also the land, it is getting actually heated up. The air molecules near the land, it moves upward because of those convection principle. Okay, so in this all sort of actually what we can see conduction, we can see convection, we can see radiation as well. Okay, so if we don't have these mechanisms, the nature is, we don't have any nature. Okay, So everything in nature, it is having some sort of principle, some sort of thing that we need to understand, and it is like very much like fun to do these kind of activities, okay, and to understand the concepts. So once again, I will say that all these sort of activities are actually available in your NCERT textbook. You need to go through this. You need to perform. Okay, we are also here to help. If you want, like later on, we can also perform these activities. Okay, and like you can also perform the activities just by reading the books with the supervision of your parents. So with this, I will just put the end to my today's session. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rupesh, for the wonderful session. We all had a great time. And now, I'd like to hand over the closure ceremony to Mr. Benja.
So thanks again, Rupesh, for that wonderful session. And it was a very interesting session. And everything, I think, is very clear as you have presented the concepts. I'm very sure that all the students that'll be accessing this video will definitely go and check out the topic under the NCERT book. So again, I would like to extend my warmest thank you to Sir Rupesh. Thank you again, sir.
Thank you, Benja, for the.
Okay, and I'd also like to thank the online participants right now. Do you have any questions regarding today's session? Aritha Pala and yeah. Aritha, are you there?
I don't have any questions.
Okay, so tell me, because you're the only one who's been accessing the Google Meet link, I'm pretty sure the other students are accessing through your Facebook page. Like, how did you find the presentation and the experiments that Sir has presented today? Is everything all clear?
Yes.
Okay, did you find it exciting and interesting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's very nice. Anyway, make sure to join us in some other sessions. We will be posting the schedule in our Facebook page. Okay, and also I just wanna add that for all those tuning in, we'll be having sessions of physics and chemistry from the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. For classes 8, right? For class 8, which will be again taken by Sir Rupesh and team Sensei IO Private Limited. So I also see that Miss Gracia is also here. So Mr. Gracia, would you kindly have the concluding words before we enjoy the weekend, whatever is left of it? Mr. Gracia, are you there? Okay, I think she's been having technical issues for the past, 1 hour or so. But anyway, I'm very sure that Miss Gracia will be, coordinating with me after the session. So again, thank you, Sir Rupesh, and thank you to all the participants wherever you're. Thank you to Freebirds and making a very lively one without technical difficulties. Okay, so thank you, and I wish each and every one of you a happy weekend. Okay.
Yeah, same to you. Have a happy weekend. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Freebirds.